Hey, everyone. This is Sister Nayura, your transformational life coach, speaker, master retreat leader, best-selling author, and most importantly, on tonight, I am your host for the Heal on Purpose podcast, which is always presented to you by the Repair of the Black Family. Now, I'm so excited tonight because every single week we strive to bring forth powerful guests that's going to help us to eradicate generational trauma, generational drama, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotaging behavior patterns. Now we starting this 2024 off with a bang, y'all. Okay, because we starting it out 2024, the year of wealth. I say because it's the number 8. Okay, and so we're starting this year off with this podcast, healing not only generational trauma, but inspiring us to create generational wealth. And tonight, my guest, she is a pure, in my eyes, okay, a pure example of women that's creating generational wealth. And so as you pull up to the podcast tonight, I'm going to ask that you take great notes. I'm going to ask that you drop us some yellow hearts if you're watching on Facebook. And I'm definitely going to ask if you are watching us on YouTube to go ahead and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you are watching or if you're listening via podcast on all of the major podcast streaming, go ahead and like and subscribe to the podcast. So every single week you get notified when Heal on Purpose with Sister Nayura, that's right, your host, Sister Nayura, comes forth with another powerful podcast. And so tonight, I have my beautiful sister friend, and I just want to say all out warrior for freedom, justice, and equality. I have her on tonight, Sister Kara Faine, a seasoned professional with 15 years of industry experience, previously excelling as a sales director for a prominent Las Vegas timeshare company. Now, she thrives in real estate realm, providing top-notch service to investors and attorneys alike. Together with her trusted part, Kara leads a dynamic real estate team, bringing her expertise and passion to every transaction. Once again, I introduce to most and present to others my dear sister, friend, and warrior on the healing field, Sister Kara. How are you, beloved?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much for having me on this. It's such an
You know
honor.
what? I couldn't have it no other way. And what better way to start it out talking about women, wealth, and health, right? And,
Yes.
and so, with that being said, Sister Kara, listen, as I thought about you in this podcast, I said, you know what? For the 2024, as women take their roles in leadership, what better way we can have than to have what better way to present tonight than someone that is absolutely leading in the field of just helping women to be happy, healthy, wealthy. And so as you come on tonight, how do I read your bio, but for real though, we're gonna have a candid conversation. How do you show up in the world? And how do you show up in the world for yourself?
I think the way that I show up in the world is I love taking a look at what my scene is, right?
Mm,
And I love to shake my scene. Like it's just one of those things where if I can make a difference or make a change or kind of change some things up, then I will. And that even started when I was in grade school. So I I show up where I can not be the person to fit in, but just the person that can actually make a difference.
wow. Wow, that's powerful. And so I see that you are from that beautiful city called Las Vegas, right? And I've heard the saying many, many times before, what goes on in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas.
This is very true. So true.
So tell me about this beautiful city in Las Vegas. Were you born and raised there?
So I actually was not. I was born and raised in Inglewood,
Okay.
California, and I was born in California, Inglewood at the time was still a very expensive town. It's really expensive now. And my mom, she just, was not able to really make it out there. She's originally from Oklahoma. So my mother and father, they're both from Oklahoma, moved to the West Coast to be able to have a better life, had me, and then realized that like this wasn't it. So we ended up moving to Vegas when I was young. So I grew up here in Vegas, and I've been able to see this city like just grow. Like it's just crazy how fast it's grown to where the people that live here, like we're still in shock about what's going on with this city.
Oh wow. Oh, let's tap into that just a little bit. Now, I'm a Tupac fan, okay? So, were you in Las Vegas during the era of Tupac?
Yes,
Okay, girl,
yes.
let's touch on that a little bit. What was that like for you when the whole thing happened, when they said, okay, Tupac got shot? What was that like for you?
I was really young, right? So I remember hearing that Tupac got shot right on Flamingo and Koval. Like I literally don't live too far from there. And it definitely was there was a huge impact and within the city. And but I was just still really, really young to
Okay.
like actually understand, the what that impact actually was. I mean, I get it now,
Yeah.
but and there's still so much that people are talking about, that whole incident. But yeah, I was just really young.
Oh wow. So in the city of Las Vegas, is it still like a topic of conversation, or like, I mean, what things that's happening in the news?
I mean, it's all over YouTube still. They're still
Yeah.
talking about it. Yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
still
Yeah.
talking about it. But yeah, so it's funny though. Every time people mention that, because the street is Koval and Flamingo, they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, where Tupac got shot." It's
Yeah.
like, it's like,
Oh, oh, that's one of them things. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So listen. All right. So your mom moved you out to Las Vegas. How many? Is it just you, or did you have brothers and sisters, or?
So I have an older brother and a younger sister. So my older brother decided to stay in California and stay with other family members. And then me and my sister and my stepdad had moved to Las Vegas here so that we can, just to have a better living. And I will definitely say that like my life probably would have been completely different being in LA compared to Las Vegas. But I mean, I'm happy to have been here just because the opportunity and just the affordable living, right, is was definitely the biggest perks when it came to living out here. So I'm glad. The only thing that I wish that my parents would have done is actually take advantage of buying something or purchasing a home or just being able to do any of those things that was affordable in Nevada at the time.
Wow. Okay, it seems like we're gonna jump right into this conversation now. Kara, you said, and I want to touch on that. You said that you're the type of person that just like to, look at the ideal scene, look at, the environment, and really shake it up and make an impact. How would you say you've made your greatest impact in the city, or the state of Nevada, in the city of Las Vegas?
Let me see here. I will say I don't think I have made an impact on the city yet,
Okay,
right?
okay,
Not yet.
okay,
But I will say that in certain industries, I have been able to like really break that. So I'll give you an example. I first started my career in selling timeshares, and so I sold timeshares for about 9 years. And half of my career during that time, I ended up becoming the director of sales. But I wasn't now the director of sales. I don't know, for those of you that know about timeshare, it's a very white dominated type of industry. There are Black people who are salespeople, but when it
mhm,
comes to being in the upper levels of management and all of that, it's usually white people and it's usually white guys, right? So I just so happened to be around that time when Obama was president and all of that. And so the company that I worked for, they did take a chance in actually making me the director of sales, right? So I was the company's very first Black female sales director, which was huge,
Oh,
right?
wow.
In Las Vegas,
Come
right?
on.
So that was a huge impact that I was able to do, and it was really cool to see other Black salespeople look at me and they're like, "Hey, it's possible. Like you've made it possible." And for a while, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think that that was even, I'm just trying to do my job, and for me, I was just trying to make sure that, because I hate the politics of jobs. I hate the
Right.
politics of whose, butt you have to kiss and who you have to like, be mindful of and all this other stuff. So I was like, if I was in charge, I'm not having to worry about that, right?
Right.
I don't
Right.
want my people to worry about that or anything like that. So when I decided to go for the position and actually just be the best director as possible, it wasn't even about color. It was just about fairness.
Teach on that, because a lot of times we do get stuck, on the color thing, right? And I understand because I'm all for my people, right? But there are times where you have to, kind of supersede looking at the color as much as it is as, like you said, fairness, freedom, justice, equality, right? Which is a universal principle, right?
Mhm.
And so what type of challenges would you say that you had to face in situations like that as a Black woman?
Oh, I mean, there's plenty of people who thought that they could do the job better than me.
Mm. And so
There's
what did you do? What did you do to say, okay, I'm here, and this is what we're doing?
Yeah, like, and that's pretty much what I would say. I'm like, well, you're not in charge. I
Right.
am. So here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And it's just it's definitely I just have to put myself in that position and make myself fully known, right? Like even I moved into a high rise, right? That's like literally right across the street. Very, very prominent high rise, a lot of people with money in it. And I remember this lady says, "Oh, you're on such and such floor?" She's like, "Oh, well, she said, my my closet's the size of your place." And I said, "But I'm in the building."
Okay.
Right? So I didn't care,
Come on.
about any of that. I didn't care the size of my place or anything. I'm in the building, right?
That's
And
right.
that's what matters. And
That's right.
so, it's just the challenges in just being a Black woman, period. I don't, I try to put myself in a position where I'm not trying to have them see my color. I'm trying to have them see me,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But all they see is this, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, there's just a lot more that I have to do. I have to work faster. I have to work harder. I have to work longer in order for someone to actually see me. But the ones that do, they let it be known. And, that's how I'm able to make stuff happen.
Wow. Listening to you in this very moment, the thought of Taraji P came up into my
Hmm.
mind on how she said, as Black people, they have to kind of work harder, to get paid more fairly. And so, as you said, you have to work harder, you have to work faster, you have to work to just get people to see who you are and your worth, your net worth, or your worth, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So, as it relates to women in your industry and building wealth, right? Well, before I ask that question, let me just go back. Let me go back a little bit because I'm excited. So let's look at this aspect of, have you come from a position of poverty that you had to go through to really say, you know what, I got to change this and let's create more generational wealth. Have you ever experienced anything on that nature where you just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of not really having what you need, want, and desire?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll start from when I grew up. So my parents, they didn't make the most. My dad, my stepdad, he was a salesperson, and so when he made money, he made money. But when he didn't, right? My mom, she worked in a bank, and so she made money consistently, but there was the ups and downs of if my dad didn't make any money, now we're just relying on her. And we live in Las Vegas, so there's a thing called, my stepdad, he used to gamble. And
Mhm.
I just remember times that I would hear my parents arguing because, we got the tax money in and the money's gone,
Come
right?
on now.
It's and I'm being fully transparent because I know that these are things that happen in our community. And so, it's just I've saw my parents, they would have money and then they wouldn't have money. And so I got to the point, I remember going to the sneaker store and I'm like, Mom, I want those Nikes. And she's like, honey, we can't get those Nikes. We have to get these Nikes. I'm like, but I don't want those Nikes. I
Right. Yeah.
want the Jordans,
Right.
right?
Yes.
I want
Yes.
the Jordans. I want the nice Nikes. I don't
Right.
want the bootleg Nikes.
Right.
So I just had made a promise to myself that as soon as I could make money, I was going to get a job and make money because clearly my parents have not, you know, they haven't paved the way to actually put me in a position to really make money. Now, I will say that, there's a lot of things that my parents sheltered me from. I didn't have to, suffer from being raped or any of those things, right? I live in Vegas, so I've ran across, some ladies, and so I've
Right.
ran across that, but I didn't get into that whole scene, right? It
Yes.
was
Yes.
it was easy, it was right there,
Right.
but I didn't get into it. And so I just always say that like my parents did the best that they could. But for me, I realized that in order to like make any changes in my life, I had to be able to make that change and figure it out.
Wow. And one of the key words that I heard you say, and this is for all of us that's listening at this point, you said, I made a promise to myself, you know, and I've come to find that when it's always that defining moment where we have to change our mindset, we have to change our viewpoint on whatever is happening in our life and make a decision. And
Hmm.
so when you made that decision, I promised myself that I was gonna basically change this situation. How empowering was that for you? And what age were you when you made that decision?
I would
Around
probably
now.
say
Mhm.
I would probably say I was around like I was like probably 14, 15 years old. And I remember telling my parents, I said, "Don't worry, I will take care of you." Right? And I didn't realize what I was getting myself into when I said I was going to take care of my parents. But
Right, right, right,
I said that because I just saw them, kind of like suffer and like, they're trying to work, trying to make things going, but they didn't know how to play the game. I also don't feel like they even knew that there was a game to be played, right? I think that
right.
that's a big thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, that we have games that we can play. And if you're not playing it, the game's playing you. Right. So I
Wait,
really feel like my parents the game was playing them and they didn't even know it. So I had to step up and I said, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. Right. So it's like I bought my mom a house, I take care of my stepdad, they're both separated, but I still take care of them. Like I'm still living that promise that I'm going to take care of you. And I'm showing them how to do it. I'm showing them how I do it.
right. So, oh my gosh, that was so powerful, right? Because if you don't play the game gonna play you. And we definitely looking at this game called life. But in this game called life, Kara, there's many games that you can play. And I mean, that's where I feel like we as a culture of people, we have to realize that we create our own games,
Hmm.
right? Whether it's a game to win or a game to lose, it's still a game.
Yep. It's still a game.
It's still a game. So we're talking about women, wealth, and healing. And so as we transition into, I mean, I feel like I covered this wealth part, especially when it comes to generational wealth, of taking the concepts of what our parents had to go through to make it for us. That's our story, right? Because I believe that who we are today is because of what we had to go through in our past, but we also have the power to create our future. And that's what you definitely demonstrated tonight. It's like, yes, I had these circumstances and these situations, though I didn't get exposed to everything, but there was my struggles, but I took it and I made it for the best of me. And
Yes.
so as we move into this, the power of healing, especially when it comes to the women, many of us, we have different things that we experience when it comes to relationships. And the reason why I'm bringing this up as it relates to healing, I remember talking to you a few weeks ago, and you was like, Naira, it's not always the what, it's the who. Girl,
Yes.
when I tell you that stuck with me, right? Because now it's like I'm really looking at my who's, especially for me, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but sometimes I have found myself in very naive situations because I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt when I really need to be focusing on the who, right?
Yep.
And realizing that if I really want to go, it's time for me to move forward, and everybody can't go, everybody can't grow,
That's
right?
right.
And so with that being said, when we look at relationships, interpersonal relationships, when we look at male female relationships, and as it relates to your particular healing journey, have you had to face anything where you had to say, you know what, it's really not the what, it's the who at this point in order for your healing to take place and transpire?
Yes. Even when it came to me just like deciding like, okay, how am I going to like heal? And one quote that the company that I used to work for said, it's like, if you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. Right. So I love that saying because I used to look at it all the time and I was like, so what is it that I haven't done? Right. And I'm like, I'm one of those people where I like to do things with other people, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't want to do it by myself, right?
right.
I'm not one of those stingy people where it's like, oh, it has to be me. Like I don't, I'm like, no, like let's do this together. Like let's work together. Let's do this together. But what I've learned when it comes to on the healing side of things for yourself, you can only do it for yourself, right? Like you can't do it for somebody else. You can't do it even, with somebody else. You got to do it yourself. Now, if that other person wants to do their own healing and everything themselves, great. We can definitely share ideas and all of that. But I've learned to kind of like keep that separate, and I've been able to excel faster that way versus trying to do it with someone because the other person may have, like, they have their own struggles, right? I have my own struggles, but I can't be interlinking this person's struggles with my struggles because now I
Right,
can't focus on my struggles.
right, right, right,
and
right.
I realized I had done that for years, and I was getting tired of like, why am I still running in place? Right.
Yeah.
And so I've learned that like it has to be like your own self-determinism to do it. And then once you've done that, like everything else works its way out. The other person ends up excelling, other people around you excel because I've made my decision to move forward.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, that's that journey, and really understanding that it's personal, right? Healing
Hmm.
is not a moment, but it's definitely a journey. And yeah, I can see how even for myself, it's like you're trying to get everybody to go with you and heal with you. But no, you gotta, separate. I want to say elevation requires separation.
Hmm.
So to be able to put yourself in that space where your healing is personal is very key, especially I would say in the 2024. And on this journey of healing for myself, Sister Kara, I took on Dianetics, right? I was able to take that, and that's when I really understood what healing looked like for me,
Hmm.
right? And so I met you in the Church of Scientology, and I realized that it's so essential that we have something so accessible for our culture that we need more examples of those of us that's using the technology and using it in a space that is going to help us to win, right, in life, but also be able to take the technology and use it and really make our healing personal to ourselves. So how have you used the tech, or has it helped you in the way of healing yourself, or getting yourself in a space where you can say, okay, I can take ownership and move forward?
I would say that it's it's really funny. I was like sitting one time, because I've done Dianetics as well, and I realized it's like the best therapy. It's just therapy, right? And so, but it's therapy that actually allows me to understand me a lot more. So now I can move the way that I would like to move because I know me more, right?
Yeah,
And I know, the struggles that I have and why, right? And, that therapy alone has allowed me to believe in myself more. And with believing in myself has been able to get me to get rid of any barriers that I thought that I had when it came to actually doing things for myself and moving in a space that I feel comfortable with.
absolutely. And that's the key word, therapy. Okay. Because in our community, especially now, mental health is the button. It is the talk of communication. And this therapy is not like any other therapy, right? It's the
Correct.
modern science to mental health, right?
Mhm.
And so with that being said, Sister Kara, how did you discover Dianetics?
So the funny part is, I have a really good friend, and he was like very successful real estate agent. By the way, this is kind of how I got into real estate.
Yeah.
And so, I met this individual, and he had just like the big house, he had the nice cars, I saw the big paychecks, and I also learned that this person didn't come from money, right? And so, he had said that he's a Scientologist, right? And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I said, so there's something that this person knows that I need to know,
Okay.
right? Especially since this
Show me the
person didn't
money.
come from money or anything like that. So he showed me the Dianetics video. And the funny thing for me is I was like, okay, I can track with that, right? And I was like, okay, it shouldn't be that bad for me because I haven't had, that much trauma, right?
Right, 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 right,
I really feel like I had like the Mickey Mouse version of it,
right, right.
but it was enough to get me interested. And it was a great gradient to me then, getting exposed to everything. And then from there, just learning that there is actually a way that you can play the game. And again, I had said earlier, if you don't play the game's going to play you. I learned very fast that the game at that time has been playing me for a long time. So
Wow.
I really had to, get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I want to be able to play the game. I don't want the game to be playing me.
Right.
And that is really how I was able to start my journey.
Wow. So what was that one thing when you had experienced Dianetics that if it wasn't for Dianetics, your life would have been on a different path, or you handled this one thing with Dianetics and you knew, okay, this is it. Like this is the therapy I need.
I would say, ooh, let's see here. That's a good one. You're like, what exactly what? I think that I started making moves. And when I said so I actually during the middle part of my career in timeshare, I started getting promoted and
Yeah.
getting promoted and getting promoted without asking. I
Right.
wasn't I wasn't looking for a promotion. I was just trying to be the best person as I could be. And I
Right.
started to see how that pattern it just started going really fast for me. Like my career moved a lot further because usually to be a sales director, I'll give you an example, it takes people between 10 to 15 years in order to even get that sort
Wow.
of position. And I
Wow.
did it in like 5 years, right? So it's like, what was it about me versus everyone else? And no one actually, during that time, like my bosses or anything like that, they had no idea that of what I was studying or what I was doing with my life when it came to self development. Nobody knew, so it wasn't like I was flagging it around for them to be like, oh, okay, you're doing this, so we'll put you here.
Right.
I really kept it to myself, and sure enough, like just my bosses started to see something in me in order to get me to that position. So when I started to see that happen, and then I also started to see things change in my realm, money coming in, me being able to take advantage of different things as far as what I could have. I was like, okay, well, what else can we do with this?
Okay. Look,
What else?
what else? Look, I'm getting this therapy, so it's increasing my beingness, my doingness, my havingness, my ability to own more. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can definitely relate to that. And so as we look at this, I interviewed Bernard Bonner, who is also a Scientologist, on my show a few weeks ago, and we talked about Dianetics and Scientology. Is it for the quote? Is it for the culture? And I'm asking you from a perspective of a woman in particular and a Black woman, getting this technology. Would you say it's for the culture or not, and why?
I would say it's definitely for the culture, but it's for the culture who wants to better themselves,
Yeah,
right? I think that when it comes to the culture, like we have to decide really, where do we want to go in life? Do we want to go somewhere in life or not? Right. And so I would definitely say it's for the culture who wants to, do better in life, to be better. And if you think that you are better, if you knew that you could be a little bit more better, why not?
that part.
That part.
That part. We can be better. It's so much more to us, right?
Yes.
Than what we even know. And I found that wow, it doesn't, for me, I found that it isn't as much as handling the things that I know, but it's those things that I don't know about myself, right?
Hmm.
In all aspects of my life. Like the technology, really, Dianetics and Scientology helped me to get to the hidden sources, why I do certain things and why I react or respond a certain way. And so I've been able to take it and apply it in my life. And I'm seeing miracles daily,
Hmm.
daily.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I do too. I'm able to just really take a look at what the scene is, take a look at what's going on in life, and I'm able to actually put myself in a position where I think it all boils down to me being able to really believe in myself, because I realized that I did not believe in myself. I didn't believe what I could do and all of that. And now I'm able to do so, and so I can just move freely and just get things done. And I challenge myself each day on getting things done and doing more and thinking big, because
Uh-oh, I think we lost you. We lost you. That's interesting. Okay. No worries, y'all. We got this. We got this. And so as she work on getting this together, I would definitely say the ability to believe in yourself, right? That takes courage. It takes discipline. Uh it takes know-how. And so as we uh look at how we are going to maneuver in the 2024, what do you know about yourself? What do you believe within yourself? Can you increase your ability to be, to do, and to have? And whatever your role is in life, what roles are you going to take to be able to be, to do, and to have? Can you hear me? Okay. And so yeah. So might want to just log out and come back in, Kara. So yeah, so what is your ability to be, to do, and to have as we look at the 2024 and we are maneuvering through all trials and tribulations. Like even with this podcast today, it's a trial. It's a trial for us, right? Can you hear me, Kara? And so it's a trial for us. All right, I'm gonna let her go ahead. I'm sorry. Did we get that right? Okay. So yeah, it's a trial for us. And yeah. It's a trial for us to be able to make sure that we're able to be, to do, and to have. But what roles are you going to take? All right, I see here. Go ahead and say something. All right, you all. I apologize. Her mic has went out, so she may have to just call back in. But one thing I do know, anytime you're doing something great in life, distractions will appear. And so when distractions appear, what we do is we roll over it, we keep going, right? We don't allow anything to distract us. And that's one of the things that I can truly say, when it comes to women, wealth, and healing as a woman, and in particular, everything to keep moving, um, and keep flourishing and prospering. And so, as my guest is working that out, I just want to say this, in 2024, what are you doing to create your future? Are you able to be able to know where you are, where you're going, and understand your gifts, skills, and talents, and allow your gifts, skills, and talents to make room for you? I truly believe that each and every one of us have the ability to be able to make make room for us. And so I believe we have her back here. Do we got you? We got you going now.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can truly hear you, girl. Let me tell
Okay.
you this.
I'm so sorry. Okay, give it to me one more time. My apologies with
No,
the
it's okay. But let me just say this right here. Okay, as you all are listening to us, I truly know, as the old folks would say, the devil is a liar. Okay?
facts.
I truly know. And I know that anytime you're doing something great, anytime you're doing anything that's going to free the minds of people, anytime you're trying to get a good message, there's always going to be bumps in the road.
Facts.
But what we've come to learn and what we've come to gain to understand, especially with this technology, is that we're more able than our distractions. Come on now, somebody put that in the comments. Okay?
Hello,
When
somebody.
you when you're experiencing something tough, you don't give up. No,
Not at all.
you just get
Nope.
bigger. And so, Karen, that's what I think we've experienced tonight. We just
Yes,
had the power to get more bigger, right?
absolutely.
To access more of our beingness, our doingness, and our haviness. And we was talking about, that defining. I'm sorry, we was talking about getting the technology and understanding that if you don't play the game of life, life will play you,
That's it.
and using the technology to make the games even bigger, right? And to ensure that anything we want or we desire, we can have it by creating our own future, by being more able. And so, as we get ready to close this down, I just wanted to ask you. I think we was talking about Black women in the doing the culture. That's what we was talking. We was talking about the culture. Black women in Scientology. Is it for the culture? And how can we utilize this in our lives in this dispensation of time? And is it needed and wanted for our community?
Yes. So I would say absolutely. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, it's needed and wanted for those who want more for themselves, who want more for the generation, right? So I always believe that, we should be better than our parents. Right? If our parents created us, then we need to be better than them. But for some of us, we have to actually go even beyond that because it isn't just a little bit better. Like we have a lot of things in our generation that we've had to handle and get better at, in order to even, exist, and actually show that we have, that we are here and we are here to actually make it, I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's this saying that like black wealth is supposed to vanish in like 2050 something or whatever. And it was showing because of the decline and of wealth and the decision making that the black community has made and that sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, I cannot subscribe to that, right?
Right. Right.
All I can do is just subscribe to me being better and then hoping that I can help others. And then I also think that we should be there for each other, right? So I love my community because I can do things like call you Sister Naira, call, some of my other girlfriends, and like just really talk about our journey and talk about what we've gone through and ask each other questions because we've all had certain situations and scenarios happen that we just need someone to talk to that isn't going to judge us and who isn't going to, invalidate us or make us feel any type of way or have any ill intention. So I just, hope that our community can be a lot bigger, brighter, and be willing to play bigger games because it is out there for us.
Absolutely. And it's the know-how to play the game. And I believe
Yes.
that's what I've experienced with using the technology of Dianetics and Scientology. It's like getting to know how to take it's an exact science, right? And you get
Mhm.
formulas for success, right?
Yes.
So you're not playing the miss or maybe it'll work, maybe it don't. No, it's like if you do this is the results, right? And so I teach my clients, as a life coach, it's like you create your new results. It don't just happen. It doesn't just
Hmm.
happen. And so I
Correct.
asked you this question, Kara, what made you go as far as you have as it relates to using Dianetics and Scientology?
Um, I would say that there's like this big bridge and it's like pretty, pretty tall
Yeah.
as far as all the things that are up there. And I'm like, well, if where I've been has gotten me where I'm at, what will the rest do? Right? Like I'm a very curious person. So I'm like, well, if this has done this, what are all these other things going to do? And that's really has kept my curiosity because more and more it has given me the opportunity to learn about me, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I had a lot to know about myself.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yes.
something that I'm actually surprised about, is that there is a lot to know about me, and I'm interested in me, right? And being interested in me has allowed these opportunities to come my way, and it has allowed me to be able to take care of my family. It has allowed me to make the promises that I've made actually come true and be done. So I am what keeps me going is knowing that, like there's more to go. So I'm excited.
Okay. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you what I'm perceiving from your conversation. Let's just go ahead and have this candid conversation. First of all, interested in you before we even go to the question that I'm about to ask you. Being interested in you. And as my listening audience is listening to this, many people don't know the level of what it takes to really be interested in you. That's like, for me, that's real self-love,
Hmm.
right? Because we talk about self love a lot, especially with women. We talk about this, and self love may represent to some, getting your nails done, getting your face, getting your massage or whatever. But that's self love where you take care of your mind, your spirit. Okay.
Yes,
Has it helped you with self love?
it really has, because it's given myself the opportunity to trust myself, and it's given myself the opportunity to know when things feel right and when they don't feel right. It's given me that confirmation, and I don't have to question it anymore.
Absolutely. The actual facts of things.
Yep.
Okay, girl. So you've been talking about, you was able to do this. Would you say with using the technology of Dianetics and Scientology, have you been able to make more money in
Oh,
life?
yes.
Come on, girl. You know how we want to show me the money.
Yes. And the way it does is it does it in a way where you're like you're still trying to scratch, I scratch my head sometimes like, is this for reals?
Yeah, yeah,
Right? Is this for reals? Is this really, is this what it's doing it, or is it something else? Or is it
right,
fate? Or is it meant to have already have happened? Right? So
right.
I've learned that when it comes to coincidences, the only coincidence is myself. That part.
Yes, indeed. That part. The only coincidence is myself.
Hmm.
Ooh, y'all need to write that in the chat. Okay.
Hmm.
So when as we look at 2024, We're talking about women, health, and healing, expansion, right? Being able to try something new, try something different, and I know that for many of us, when we talk about the technology in our community, most people, they don't want to leave what they have, as far as religion is concerned, or, their way of life. How has that worked for you?
Oh my gosh. So I grew up more like Baptist, between like Baptist and Christian. And more than anything, I never felt like I had to leave, my belief system. More than anything, the technology of like, doing the therapy and then doing, and learning has taught me how to be a better Christian or a better Baptist person, right? It has taught me how to, treat others and how to, want to be treated and express how I feel without going crazy because I'm still a chick from Inglewood, right?
Okay.
So, so but I've learned to, and it's funny, I was just talking to my mom about this, especially because she's reading the Dianetics book. And so I told her, I said, listen, when you read that book, it's important to understand that you are, for me, I've learned to have more compassion for people. And I've been able to, with understanding more of what's really going on, I have more patience, right? Because most people, they can't help themselves. So, with looking at it in that perspective, it has allowed me to have the patience and have that compassion and be able to show that to other people, and then they're able to respond to me the way that I want to be responded to or respected and all of that, so that I don't have all the craziness come my way. Like it's funny, I'll have somebody say, oh, this person is blah blah blah, and I'm like, well, they don't do that to me. Like, I wonder why they don't do that to me. But I do know why, because I
Yes.
also don't do things to trigger people. That's another thing too, that this is really that this therapy, the Dianetics has done for me, is because I understand that people have trigger points and everything. So who am I to try to push their buttons for what? Like, I just feel that, we have, our lives to live, and there's a lot of things that we can do in life, but I don't want it to be shorted with, unnecessary, issues or unnecessary quarrels.
Absolutely. Wow. When you were speaking, I was thinking about how it's so many different modalities to healing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at this, it's workable. Like,
Yes.
it's like once you confront or handle that one thing, whatever that thing it's no more emotional charge, which allows you to just be present in life.
Yep.
That's what outcome. It's like I'm present. I'm not stuck in all that past stuff, which allows me to be more accessible and available to be present for people.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
and that's healing. So when we look at handling generational trauma, I believe that our culture have a really good opportunity and chance to really, really create that true heaven on earth, which is
Absolutely.
peace. We talk about it in scripture, but we get to create it to the degree that insanity will be eradicated because we have this book called Dianetics.
Absolutely. And the peace that it brings to our minds is priceless. It
It's
really
priceless.
is priceless.
It's priceless. Wow. Okay, girl. So listen, 3 points that you would like to give to the listening audience that's listening to you today when we talk about women, healing, and wealth. What would be 3 key points that you would want somebody that literally like listen to this podcast and they could take it from listening to this and apply it to their lives? What would be 3 points?
Okay, good. So the first one would be to you got to really have a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, right? And really ask yourself, do you really want to change? Right?
Right.
Do you really want to be more? Do you really want to just look at yourself, have a good long look at yourself and have that hard conversation with yourself. That's one thing. The next thing would be, find someone, right? Someone who is where you're at or greater, well, more so great, like where you want to go, and talk to them. Right. Hopefully there's someone that, that they, that they will talk to you. But in your spiritual journey or in career or whatever, just find that person that will be willing to help you and talk to you and kind of get you, where you want to go. Right,
Right.
because that alone, we're not alone in this journey. Though we got to do it alone, you're still not alone in the journey. So really finding those key people, and if you don't have them, they're out there. So just find them. And I believe that this podcast and everything that you have going on, like you are that channel. So if it is for them to come to you, Sister Naira, like that's what they need to do. That's number two. Number three, and that's not a plug. That's not a plug for you, but it's just the truth, right?
Right,
It's just
right,
the
right,
truth, right? And then the third thing is just being able to just know and believe that you are worth, the journey. You are worth it. We actually have this time right now. We have this opportunity. So why not you taking advantage of that opportunity, because it is here, it is now. And I definitely challenge every single person on this podcast to take advantage of that, because it is something that you can do.
absolutely. Kara, I want to thank you so very much, Kara, for taking time out of your schedule to just share space with me, to enlighten every single listener from this moment forward of what it looks like to be a woman of principle that is inspiring other women to be wealthy. I've seen you on flyers with your girls, right? I think that's really important for us as women to have community. And I've been able to share space with you. And we have a very powerful community amongst women that's using the technology. Thank you for helping me to bring forth solutions, because that's the time that we're in now. And I know in our culture as Black people, as Black women, we got to be more solution orientated. We have a lot of
Absolutely.
problems, but when it comes to solutions, it's very near and few. And
Hmm.
so, as it relates to our mental health, our spiritual well beingness, I want to continue to bring forth solutions. So, I want to thank you so very much. Now, I know my husband is engineering in the back. And did you send us a flyer? Because I want to put that up there for your next thing.
Um,
What's next for you?
I don't think I sent a flyer.
Okay, no worries. Well, what's next for you and how can they reach you?
What's next? I'm gonna be expanding. I'm getting my license in Florida.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be out there very, very soon. And, I'm expanding in Vegas. I'll be expanding in Florida. And, I'm just really excited for the future. Also
All
looking
right.
at some international opportunities as well.
All right, girl. Now listen, that's real estate. So y'all need some help with some real estate. Y'all got to get with my sister. What is your social media handle?
So my social media handle, you can do at Kara Faine. And you can even add me on Facebook, which would be just Kara Faine. And yeah, just send me a DM. I definitely will answer and would love to be able to help if anyone has any questions or anything.
Okay. All right, y'all got it right there. That's her name. Kara Faine is right at the bottom of the screen right here. We
Mhm.
definitely want to thank you so much. Go ahead and like and follow her on social media so y'all can keep in touch with my sister. And let's just keep bringing forth the light. And I want to thank you so very much. One of the things I would like to say as I close this out, Maya Angelou. She's one of my favorite people in the world.
Mhm.
She said, people don't remember as much as what you say or what you do, but how you made them feel. And I want to thank you for just bringing forth your energy because it was a good feeling tonight. All right. And so I'll
Oh,
push you
thank you
back.
so much.
Thank you so very much. All right, girl. Women, wealth, health, and that
Perfect.
we definitely will go ahead and go with these announcements. And with that being said, family, I want to thank you so very much for listening to the Heal on Purpose podcast. And as you know, we're striving for to continue to bring on more guests that will provide solutions for the 2024. And as we talk about solutions and what we're offering right now, Sister Naira and Brother David, we have launched our leadership Academy, leadership and development. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. We have our new leadership and development program where we're actually helping you to create your family as a business. Now, when we talk about eradicating generational trauma, we want you to be able to understand that we can help you develop personally, family wise, business, build more teams so that you can expand, growth, and have more freedom. So I ask right now, as you're listening to this and you desire to get more information and for us to set up an opportunity call with you, to go ahead and text 727 623 5555. And if you're watching on social media, you can click the leadership and development link and set up a meeting with Sister Naira. With that being said, all right, we have the next thing, which is our retreats. Sister Naira and Brother David, y'all know we known for these 5-star retreats, okay? And as we think about relationships, building interpersonal relationships, with family relationships, mother, daughter, father, son, we have an amazing retreat that's coming up August 2nd through the 5th. Please know this, we're in January. That's less than 8 months away. That's not a long time. Okay. So we are already starting to book for this retreat. We ask that you go ahead, mark your calendar so that you can spend time with Sister Naira and Brother David in Orlando, Florida. This retreat is open for women, men, singles, relations, people that's in relationship, mothers, daughters, fathers, son. We're building relationships in Orlando, Florida. You desire to know more about that, go ahead and text us at 727 623 5555. And with that being said, we want to thank you so very much for tapping in with the Repair of the Black Family Heal on Purpose podcast. Until the next time, we say peace and we are out of here. Okay, bye. All right, so we're